Hello.
Let's get windy out there.
We are live, but we are not set up yet.
You need me to do anything? Thank you. Turn my phone off. Yeah, I need to. Come on, silly. Nobody else is coming in, you know? I know it's getting late. Oh, somebody made it. Little man did. Little man went by. Well, before he has to come with daddy, now he comes on his own.
May the wisdom, love, and justice and mercy of the Lord eternal spirit. Amen. May the wisdom and love and justice and mercy of the Lord eternal spirit. Amen. May the wisdom and love and justice and mercy of the Lord eternal spirit. Amen. May the wisdom and love and justice and mercy of the Lord eternal spirit. Amen. May the wisdom and love and justice and mercy of the Lord eternal spirit. Amen. May the wisdom and love and justice and mercy of the Lord eternal spirit. Amen. All right. I think I did everything. Good evening, I'm Reverend William. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's get ourselves all together by chanting 3 ohms. Opening prayer. Divine oneness of being, ascended masters and teachers, our own personal guides and overlying angels, thank you for coming close at this time. Thank you for gathering here with us, working with us and through us as we come here today to align our consciousness with yours and to align our breath with yours, so mote it be. Please open to the first page of your book and we will say together the universal greeting. If this is new to you, please watch the service workers to follow along with the interactive hand movements. There are books over there under her jacket if you want a book. Offer you peace. I offer you friendship. I offer you love. I hear your needs. I see your beauty. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from a higher source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together. Please turn to the next page. We will say together the 9 principles of spiritualism. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing, contained in all sacred texts, are divine attributes proven through mediumship. Well, let's see. Let me see if I can go to my description here. One moment. Many traditions worldwide speak of the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual significance of the breath. Oh, that's all I wrote? Well, so one of the best descriptions I ever heard that made sense to me is that breath, if it's not exactly the connection between the body and the soul, it helps control the connection between the body and the soul. What does that mean in my everyday life? That means the better I am at controlling my breath and regulating my breath, the better I am at controlling and regulating the ability to, for instance, leave my body at will instead of disassociating unconsciously. Also think back to even when you were a little kid. You get angry about something. You know, Jack or Jill took your toy or whatever happened. You fell, you hurt your knee. What does mom or dad say? Take a breath. Take a deep breath. Lois, count to 10. You know? I mean, there is only positive outcomes, positive results from breathing consciously. Is that just the wind? Why don't you, if it blows open, we just lock it. Thanks.
That wind is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it gets on side streets.
We'll get a breath. So yes, there's really only good things come from breathing mindfully, breathing consciously. And when we meditate, what's the first thing we do? Focus on your breath. Allow your attention to settle into your breath. Allow your breath to settle into your body. There are many different ways of structuring the sentence, but it's basically the same thing. Is you automatically calm down when you breathe slowly and deeply. It's an automatic, it's autonomic nervous system response. It's like sneezing with your eyes open. You can't do it. And so that's why I've chosen that for today's practice or meditation. We're going to spend, we'll do a little bit of meditation. We're going to spend more time in the intro part getting into the getting settled. We welcome your donations to help us maintain our presence in the community. You may donate via our website, circleoflightstl.org, or through our Facebook page. Thank you for your donations. All funds received help us in our mission to seek, develop, and teach the knowledge of the relationship between humanity and spirit. The crystal globe displayed here is filled with prayer and energy for healing Mother Earth and all her children. Everyone is welcome to contribute prayers for world peace and world healing. We invite you to add your energies to this sacred sharing. We will now say the prayer for spiritual healing found on the next page. after which there would be a short silence for you to softly say the names of anyone that you would like to receive extra healing this week. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask the great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Current announcements. This is the last Sunday of the month, so next Sunday will be our monthly business meeting. Let's see what else we have in our events here. Sunday the 4th, that's next Sunday, will be the earth releasing ceremony with Reverend Karen. So we'll have a meeting next week, so we'll have a lot more announcements after that meeting about whatever we plan this upcoming spring and such. Once again, we thank you for your donations. Now a prayer over the offering. Divine oneness of being in all of your forms, thank you for filling these gifts with your divine light and maximizing their potential for the goodness of all concerned, so mote it be. That brings us to the message portion of the service. Please actively listen to each message. As these come from Universal Source via our guides, they may be tailored for the individual, but they deliver wisdom to the whole. Please address questions about messages to the message bearer after the service. To welcome each of our spirit workers, we sing together to raise the vibration in our circle. We view the word God as a universal term for deity rather than signifying any one particular path. Obviously, I'm the message bearer tonight, and I am not going to just sit up here and sing by myself. So, it's funny, I just had it in my head. What's the mantra for spirit communication? I got it. Let's say a few of these. If you want to learn it, channel along with me, you're sure welcome to. Again, it only does good. Can't do any harm. Goes like this. Radha Swami Deva Devi Radha Swami Satnam. 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 Last one. Radha Swami Deva Devi Radha Swami Satnam. Thank you very much. I'm Reverend William. We're working tonight with Sarah, Mikael, Thundercloud, Meridin, Arcturus, Ellen, Two Hearts. Veronica. Veronica, they showed you using a sewing machine, sewing the seam of this garment. And there's this phrase, a stitch in time saves 9. I don't remember what that really means. But what they're showing me in the stitching is, I don't know if you've ever seen this what's the right word? Not metaphor. This way of understanding a wormhole, which is one of the theories of time travel, is that you're folding because, right, what we do know from physics is time travel can be explained simply as extremely fast space travel. If you take space and bend it, and so that wormhole is the connection here, and it circumvents this whole part of space here, you're shortening your trip by a lot. And they're showing that in the stitching, something you've been assembling or thinking about in your mind. You might want to contemplate that, and how. My question is, like, if it's something you are going to do or want to do, or you're already doing it. Again, maybe a bit of both. Maybe you've already been working on it and like realizing, oh, I see what I've been doing. I've been folding this to conserve distance and energy. Tammy C. Take this pretty good sized turtle, shake it really hard, and well, two things are not happening. You're not making soup, you're not getting the turtle to come out. So I'm not sure, maybe about somebody else you're trying to coax out of their shell. But either way, just like you learn in nature dealing with actual turtles or other animals, what's going to work is having something out there they want, like some lettuce or whatever that kind of turtle eats, and coax them out of their shell. And as I'm saying that, I feel like it might be more internally about you and like getting yourself in a hurry. And well, today's practice of breath will of course be a great mechanism, technique for helping you slow down. No, not slow down, be patient. It's not about slowing down, it's about accepting the fact that the turtle doesn't just pop out on your command. Nancy W. There's an old song, like in the beginning of blues music, and this woman talks about these houses made of ticky-tacky. And I don't remember the words, but I remember that chorus, the houses made of ticky-tacky. They're showing you with like a gingerbread or a house made of, like your typical gingerbread house, okay? And like, yes, it is rather fragile. You're not gonna put that gingerbread house out here in these 40-mile-an-hour winds in St. Louis right now, much less a shaky table. But it is what it is. It is built as a temporary structure. It was never meant to, see the metaphor there? Whether it's your physical body, Nancy, or, to me, a house is often about your mind. But because of the way this one is, I think it might be more about, I don't know, maybe not, I don't feel like it's strictly mental. And it's also your creation. You made this thing. You made it the way you wanted it, with the candies and cookies or whatever that you like. So, but the emphasis here is that it's temporary. It's transience. It was never meant to house you forever. Or protect. Okay, this connects to the next meditation I have planned in January. What did I call it? The Illusion of Control or something like that. And basically, it's going to be about that transience and about how control, there's really no such thing as control other than like control or mastery of your breath or something like that. Okay, so you might want to sit on that. William E. Okay, they're playing this song, Casey Jones by Grateful Dead, in case you want to know. But there's this large book, and this reminds me of like a cartoon, like a childhood cartoon, where you'd be reading the book and the book takes you somewhere. And that's exactly the image here, is that this book is taking you on this journey, very much like an over-the-road truck driver. Well, that's not probably a fair picture. Better one to be thinking about the song and enjoying the trip. Is there anything else in there for William E? You know, besides just like, letting your imagination be carried away in a book, it's also about the information you have been receiving, taking you places, and of course, not just here and there on a map, but here and there in the inner levels of existence. Okay. Nick, would you like a message? So you're using a crossbow, but you're almost always you see archery, well, because they have the upright bow, long bow or whatever, compound bow. You got to stand up because it goes vertical with your body, right? This crossbow doesn't. You hold it like a rifle. You're prone on the ground, shooting like this. So this is about what I'm getting here, Nick, is it's about taking a tool you've already practiced with and using it different ways. Like, oh, well, I can't quite see the target from here. Oh, get down on your belly. Get down on the ground. You got a clear shot. Things like that. So if I'm you, as I'm contemplating how to achieve goals or hit targets, I'm going to look at different ways of doing that that are pretty apparent. It's not like a big secret, not like something big thing you got to figure out or take a class on it. Just like, oh, if I just move like this, I can get to it. Lois.
Yes.
So there's this, what do you call that in coronation, all right, where you get your crown, okay? So there's this crowning ceremony. Now that's interesting that coronation was the word given to me, because coronation is specifically about, like when the king or queen is coronated, I think is the right word, it's really about it being a divine role. Like God has deemed you are the queen of this kingdom. I say kingdom, not queendom. You're the ruler of this land by divine right. All right, but in the picture they gave me at the very beginning, Lois, was you being crowned, having a coronation ceremony. There's nobody else there. There's no crowd. And you're like, well, there's nobody here to witness this, to observe this. And Spirit's like, I know. This is between you and me. All right. Thank you for allowing me to stand between two worlds. Fun times.
Yep.
I missed last week, so I'm happy to be back in the groove.
I'm glad you are.
All right. Meditation tonight, presented by me. Big surprise. So I'm just going to move my feet.
Well, we got three
I like to have my feet flat on the floor. You know, if you have a practice where you sit cross-legged or something, that's fine. My body, not so conducive to that.
I can do
Um,
that. That's trouble.
I like to have my feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. You know, I've been meditating, really meditating with a meditation practice for about 30 years, okay? And even before that, I meditated, didn't really know I was meditating, all right? And before that, I would just disassociate and astral travel, didn't know what I was doing. Nonetheless, my point is, there are so many little things you can do to set yourself up for success in meditation. Or if you're just, let's say, now for me it happens outdoors almost always. If I'm just inspired to sit down and meditate, it's almost always when I'm outside. And I'll just like, hey man, this is a good place to just sit down and be calm. So I want you to consider the different, not just techniques of meditation, but different, not just techniques and methods, but like what you want out of it. What are you meditating for? So let's go back to the idea of breath. And like maybe for now, I just want to have one quiet minute. Or maybe I want to sit like the Buddha, sit here under this tree until I achieve complete self-mastery. So, insofar as setting myself up for success, I like to sit with my feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. Again, this is going to be whatever feels right for you, and you can do it differently each time. It doesn't have to be exactly the same way each time. I like to have my hands open on my lap. Some people, some different forms of yoga and things practice with one thumb and one finger in the thumb, two fingers in the thumb, etc. Depends on what your intention is. If you want to dive into understanding those mudras, I just chanted a mantra for doing spirit work today. Chant a mantra, and if you've been paying attention to Facebook, Karen's been doing those like at least for 1 year, every Monday. I think even maybe more than a year. Mm-hmm. So that's over 50 different mantras she's done. There's a mantra for every occasion. And again, there's different mantras in different parts of the world too. Okay, so for today, I encourage you to have your body comfortable, but upright and alert. I like to have my feet flat on the floor, hands open in my lap, spine relatively straight, shoulders relaxed. As your body relaxes, you might notice things you want to just kind of let go of. Like that. And that's okay. As you breathe, that's one of the reasons I start with the breath. Not only is it the key to so many different things, it brings your awareness into your body almost immediately. You begin to breathe consciously. You realize, oh, I never realized how much tension I hold in my chest or my shoulders or my back or my neck or anything else like that. So I'm going to breathe deeply. As I breathe, I exhale and give my body permission to relax. And just do that again. Inhale fully. And it's not a diving contest. You don't have to exert yourself to breathe especially deeply. You can, if that feels right, to Really stretch it out the first breath or two. But almost always, your basic, most fundamental thing you're going to do is relax. Why is that important? Well, again, what could you get from relaxation besides benefit? As you breathe and give your body permission to relax, you might realize how much energy you expend in your body. That tension in your body requires energy, not just calories, but mental and emotional energy. So when you breathe consciously, you free up that energy. So just continue to breathe mindfully, consciously, deeply, if that's what you want. As you breathe, you might notice that you're filling your lungs more than normal. That also has a benefit in your health and your metaphysics. As you breathe and give your body permission to relax, I want to share something I learned recently. That until the industrial age, summertime was the time of epidemics like colds and flus, because we were together in the elements, exposed and among people. But now, since the industrial age, we've gotten more and more used to over a few generations of being indoors. Now wintertime is a time associated with the cold, henceforth the cold, the flu, and etc. Breathing mindfully helps recycle that air, bring in fresh air deep into your lungs. And again, that only has benefits. You may have just heard someone yawn. That's another autonomic response when you relax. Does that not necessarily mean you're tired or sleepy? It means your body is releasing tension. There are so many ways you unconsciously release tension throughout the day. Yawning, stretching, cracking your neck, cracking your knuckles. Things like that release tension. So what do you imagine your life will be like when you consciously release tension, willfully, mindfully, and you get used to being relaxed more often for longer periods of time? And it all starts with the breath. When you breathe mindfully, your body automatically relaxes. Have you noticed, especially if you've been meditating with us for a while, we often use the term turn your attention inward. As you breathe mindfully and you turn your attention inward, what do you notice in your senses? Even though your eyes are closed, your environment hopefully is quiet, like this one? What do you notice in your senses? Hopefully, you notice they quiet without deadening. Have you noticed that? They quiet without deadening. It's not like I no longer hear anything. I notice different things. What do I hear? What do I sense with my eyes closed? And there are, by the way, valid forms of meditation in which your eyes are open. But most of us like to meditate and breathe and let our eyes close, let our eyelids and face relax, the forehead, the scalp, the neck, down through the shoulders and back, the chest, your tummy, your lower abdomen, down through your hips. Just give your body permission to relax. Unless you're a small child, you've noticed how easy it is to disregard your body. In fact, sometimes a child will disregard their body by just throwing themselves into play, completely being in the moment. But for us, grown-ups, we often disregard our body because of pain and discomfort, don't we? Consider this. When you deny a part of your body, you are denying a portal to divinity. You might say a portal to God. You might say a part of your true self. And as you contemplate that, how different are those three things anyway? Your true self, God, or divinity, that which is holy. As long as you are physically alive, your breath is always there. It's something you can at any time focus on. When a person panics, what's the first couple of things that happen? Heart rate increases and breath is shallow and quick. What's the opposite? Calm is deep, usually even breaths. And allow your heart to slow down. Allow your heart to slow down. Remember that the heart chakra is the energetic center of your body. As you are breathing mindfully, perhaps you can take a step back and see how everything revolves around the heart. you've heard people say and have probably said it yourself, I just need to balance my heart and mind. I need to get those in balance. I suggest a new image for you. Instead of seeking to balance two things, to even them out, how about you put the power where it belongs and center yourself in your heart? How does that feel? How does it feel when you hold your attention in your heart? Center yourself in your heart. So to check yourself throughout the day, you might ask, well, how do I know I'm centered in my heart? Well, what does it feel like to feel centered? And for me, it's very much like being seated as I am now, with my gravity pretty much centered, and not using any muscles to sit up straight. Or like a fighting stance in martial arts or yoga. You know you have that stance right when it becomes effortless. It becomes effortless because you're just in the right stance. And how do you achieve that? Through practice. That's why it's called a practice. And remember, in all these endeavors, come back to your breath. And just let yourself settle deeply, deeply, deeply into yourself. just as your steady, deep breathing can help you relax and leave your body at will, it is often bringing your attention to your breath that brings you back to your body. And if you recall, that was the start of today's session. Understand that the breath is the link between your body, your emotional body, your mental body, your astral body. All those different parts of yourself are connected through breath. And you might say, well, William, if that's true, and I leave my body at the end of this life, what maintains that connection? Oh, there is a breath. And that's another story for another day. For now, breathe mindfully. Bring your attention back to the time and place that we find ourselves in here. Cause yourself to mindfully be in and of and with your body. Bring your attention fully and completely to the here and now. From the top of your head, down through your body, down to your fingertips, fully seated in this vehicle you've chosen for this lifetime, all the way down to the soles of your feet touching the floor. And when you are ready, please open your eyes. Closing prayer. Divine oneness of being, ascended masters and teachers, our own personal guides and overriding angels, thank you for coming in close to this time. Thank you for being here with us and guiding us through this space together. And please shed your divine light upon our individual and collective path as we go forth from here today. So mote it be.
So to speak.
Thank you for being in our circle of light. Please stand with us in unity as we sing together, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
I'm gonna find me a tall chair and bring it.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Go hug each other.
I love that little, whatever he's got on his shirt.